What's going on? This is Jag with the Music Video Training Center, and you're watching the How to Do Lighting for Music Videos DVD. Now, when it comes to exterior shots or your outside shots, you can do a lot with the natural light that the sun provides. But just say your music video needs an interior scene or inside shot. Now, that could be a problem if one, you don't have the right equipment, or two, you got the right equipment, but you just don't know how to use it. Now, that could be the difference between having an amateur looking video and a professional looking video, but you're not going to have to worry about that. The How to Do Lighting for Music Videos DVD is going to show you how to light a scene when you're working with a limited budget. First things first, you got to know it takes a little bit more than just shining a few lights inside of a room or on your subject and hoping for the best. There's a few things you got to know about how lighting works before you light a scene. So let's talk about the properties of light. Color is going to be our first property of lighting. The wavelength of light determines the color, which is the combination of primary colors, which are going to be your red, blue, and green. Light sources emit light at many different wavelengths, which are measured in degrees of Kelvin. For example, a 100-watt bulb's wavelength is going to be at 2,865 Kelvin, or K. A tungsten halogen light emits at 3,200 K, or Kelvin. Daylight emits anywhere from 4,300 K to 20,000 K, and a typical fluorescent light's wavelength emits 3,000 degrees Kelvin. Now, when it comes to your camera, it's designed to record at 3,200 K, or Kelvin. Now, when you use your white balance function, you're either increasing or decreasing the camera's sensitivity to blue and green. All right, now let's talk about cool versus warm. Cool being blue and warm being red, which has nothing to do with color temperature and has everything to do with emotion. For example, for a soft, romantic, intimate feel, work with warmer colors to make it feel more cozy. For high drama or action, a cooler blue will set a starker, less emotional mood. Now, of course, blue can also be used to simulate night and moonlight, all things that need to be considered when you're setting up a scene. So now that you know about primary colors, let's go over which lights fall into that color category. Tungsten, incandescents, unfiltered video lights, and gelled windows will give off your red tints. Fluorescents will give off a green tint. You want to turn these off because they don't match incandescent lights or daylight. Now, if you want to use fluorescent lights, you may get a strange looking flesh tone, so it's best to just turn them off. Dichroic filter lights in average daylight will give off your blue tints. Key thing you need to know about what I say is average daylight is because daylight fluctuates. Say for instance, early daylight and evening gives off a warmer tone. Dichroic filter light are balanced to match daylight. You always want to use one color temperature and white balance to that temperature and you'll be good to go. Now let's talk about quality of light. Now, when it comes to quality of light, we need to know two things: hard light versus soft light. Hard single-point light will produce sharp edges, shadows, and diffuse or soft lights create soft or fuzzy edges like what you see here. The more diffused the light, the softer and less apparent the edges become, and the less noticeable to the watcher. Remember, quality is about the look of your scene. Make any type of shadows a choice, not a side effect of bad lighting. Last but not least, let's talk about intensity or brightness. This is going to be measured in candle power. Light intensity drops quickly as the light moves away from the subject. So say for instance, your light is 5 feet away from the subject and is at 1,000 candle power. By moving the light 10 feet away, the intensity drops to 250 candle power. This creates an interesting effect. Since the ratio of the difference from the light to the subject's head to his or her feet is high when the light is close up, it creates fallout, like what you see here. The light at your subject's feet is only a small percentage of the light that hits their head. Now, you want to keep the light as far away as possible while still providing enough light. All right, so now that we've gone over lighting 101, let's talk about lighting basics, which is very important. What you're looking at is a layout of the room that we filmed in for all three lighting scenarios. Now for each scenario, we use one key light and one fill light, or a 2-point lighting system. In scenarios 2 and 3, we use natural light provided by the sun shining through our glass window located here. Now we filmed our subject against this wall located here. And our fill and key light were located here for each scenario. Now, even though the lighting positions pretty much stayed the same, each scenario calls for us to point the light in different directions to get the desired effect. When it comes to lighting basics, there's a few that you need to know about, which are naturalism, realism, and expressionism. Naturalism means the lighting is going to be invisible to the viewer. Directors using this style are looking to give the impression that the light that's being used is available light, such as light from the sun, lamp lights, or fluorescent lights. But just say your available light is not bright enough to make a good picture, then you need to use light. Now keep in mind, when you use light, you're only using it to supplement the light, not add any type of effect. Do this by using light sources that match the type of lights of the light in the room. For example, a pan light can match a table lamp's light, while soft boxes and new fluorescent bulb can match soft light sources.
And I think that you the one. My chickens say I'm tripping and they say I'm handcuffing. Boo loving when I'm missing and they be like, are you kidding? But I don't even care, the only thing that's on my mind.
Now setup 1. What we did to achieve this look is we placed our key lighting here, our fill light here, and our natural light from our window was coming through from this direction. This light was reflected off the ceiling and our other light was pointed directly at our subject, and we diffused this light exactly like what you see here. Realism emulates natural light, but it also adds a flavor to your shots for effect. Now, when you're using this style, your lighting is motivated by natural sources like a lamp or sunlight coming through the window, but you're also using small, controllable lighting sources for key lighting and large, soft sources for fill. Also keep rim lighting unobtrusive. Here's what rim lighting is. You want to barely touch the hair and the shoulders of your subject for background separation.
Than Iraqi summers, and you will fry, you better hide and get up under something. If I was good with anything, then I was good with numbers. I learned a lot without my pops, yeah, he was good for nothing. But he created a young brother that was made for stunting, made for believing my
Now to achieve this look, we placed our key light here, our fill light here, and our natural light from our window was coming through here. Both lights were pointed directly at our subject, and we diffused this light exactly like what you see here. And last but not least, expressionism. This style is used to convey emotion through the scene, usually to emphasize what the song is saying. There are two things you gotta keep in mind when using this style of lighting. Think of your scene as a surface displaying a painting and not a window on reality. Very important, keep this in mind. In short, don't try to simulate reality, but try to create an emotion through your own reality, if that makes any sense. One way of creating emotion is to use a key light in odd places like under the chin of your subject, or maybe shining a key light from above your subject, or even losing your fill light and letting the off key of the face go black. Remember, this style of lighting is considered as anything goes, as long as it delivers the intended impact.
And sometimes I don't even really feel safe.
With this setup, we did a few things different. The positions of the lights stayed the same, but we cut our fill light off and we just used a key light, which was placed here. We also closed the blinds so there's no natural light in the room. Now, when it comes to lighting a big room, just say like a club, for instance, and you're on a very tight budget, you can't go wrong with work lights. The work lights are the yellow, bright lights that you can get from any hardware store. Now, just say you have a room about this size and you're filming from this location. Now, I'm going to set my work lights here, maybe reflect one off the ceiling, and you may want to, play around with this to get a desired look that you're looking for. This will give me enough light so everything in frame can be seen. Now, if your picture is too bright, here's a cost-effective way to filter out the light. I just use a white blanket. Now, no, don't let the blanket touch the lights because they will catch fire. Now, if the blanket is not thick enough to filter your light, just fold it until you get the desired look. When it comes to lighting objects are very simple. You want to use lights that give the object depth and shape. Now, if you don't have enough light, and this doesn't just apply to objects, you'll get a lot of film noise in your picture like what you see here. Now let's talk about how to light green screen. When it comes to lighting green screen, very simple concept to understand. What I like to do, just say that my camera's going to be right here, my artists are going to be right here, and your green screen is going to be right here. Well, what I like to do is use two total lights placed here. Those are going to shine on the background or the green screen to light the background and separate it from the subjects. Now, if you don't have total lights, which total lights look like these, use work lights. They work great. The main reason why I'm using these lights here, again, is to separate the background or the green screen from my subjects. Now, what I also want to do here is place a light, of course, here to light my subjects. Depending on the type of look that you want to get, whether you want to go with your expressionism, realism, or naturalism, use the lighting setups that I discussed earlier on the DVD. When you're shooting up against a green screen, best thing to know is do not have any type of green on for your subjects because when you key it out, it's going to go away. Now, just say if you're shooting on blue screen, well then of course you don't want to have anything blue because anything blue is pretty much going to get keyed out as well. So just say the artist, you're shooting up against a green screen and the artist has a green shirt on. Well, the only thing that you're going to be seeing moving is the head, arms, no chest, and pants. Same thing will happen with blue screen as well. Just say that your subject isn't separated from the background and your green screen is lit unevenly. Well then, what your final output is going to look like this. A lot of stuff is going to be keyed out, your edges are going to be blocky, it's just going to look horrible and very, very unprofessional. Once your green screen or blue screen is lit evenly, your final output should look like this. There's no pixelation around the edges. The green screen or blue screen, or green screen in this case, is completely keyed out. You can't see any green, and it just looks really, really good. So those are just a few key points you want to know when lighting either green screen or blue screen. Now let's talk about lighting safety, which is very important. When it comes to lighting safety, there's a few key things you need to know that'll keep everybody on your music video production safe. 1, when you're not using your lights, turn them off. It's going to extend the life of your bulb. Now 2, These lights get extremely hot extremely fast, so make sure you have a pair of thick gloves for protection, which brings me to safety tip number 3. Don't touch the bulbs with your bare hands. The oils from your hands can ruin the bulb, and depending on where you purchase your bulbs from, they can be very expensive. So make sure you have a pair of thick gloves and you'll be good to go. 4. Make sure you tape down your cords. By using duct tape and securing loose cords down like what you see here, you'll ensure no one trips, gets hurt, or your equipment doesn't get damaged. Also, secure your lights like what you see here so they don't fall and get damaged. 6. Finally, this is going to help you save time and money, and I see so many people doing it wrong. Cord wrapping. This is the wrong way to wrap your cords. Now, wrapping your cords this way is going to cause kinks and can possibly ruin the performance of your cables. Say for instance you ruin a cord to a light. Well, you can't use that light until the cord gets fixed. To fix the cord, you're going to have to shell out some money. That money could have went to something else important for your music video shoot, so you get the idea? And also, let's talk about the time factor. If your cords are tangled up, you're going to spend about 30 minutes trying to untangle them, and the 30 minutes could have been used capturing more footage or anything. Here's a proper way to wrap your cords. Basically, start at the end. What you want to do is bring your cord around while at the same time twisting your hand like what you see here. Now, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed, you're going to twist in different directions, but more or less, this is what you're going to do. Loop the cord around and twist your arm as you're looping it. Now, what I'm doing here is straightening out any kinks or twisting the cords by dragging my hand in a balled-up fist like what you see here down the cord so I can loop my cord and twist my hand so I make my other loop. Once you're done wrapping your cord, tie it up like what you see here. Your cord should look like this. This ensures that the next time you're ready to use your cord, not only is it neat, but it's easy to use and manage and just saves on a lot of time.
My folks are set it. 2 lists for the calico, 3 for the desert. Your best, forget it. Penetrate my front line in my kundli, you wet. Said your weapons is useless. Attack like platoons, straight out for useless. You must have missed it, gotta try to confuse this. Then I'll leave you toothless. My squad go hard, the bars rugged and ruthless. Vienna, Caroline, even market lot. Do it sound like beer? Do it sound like pot? Scream my name or your record, or you fakers get shot. And then I'm dipping out the country, baby, ducking the cops, ducking the cops.
Me out, away from all of this madness, baby. Need a place I can hide away.
What's up, baby?
Rolling me out, away from all of this madness, baby. I need a place I can hide away. This life of mine, on the low, making dope, but I keep it tight. Couldn't sleep, gotta keep staying on the grind. Hoping for a legal gift to put this bitch behind. Well, it's all up in the streets. All the chickens rounding up a chore, I keep the peace. Cause I ain't trying to see another body lay cold. So it's time to realize and focus on my goal. Oh, rolling me out, away from all of this madness, baby. I need a place I can hide away. Away from all of this misery. Rolling me out, away from all of this madness, babe. I need a place I can hide away. Oh,
Said Jesus, please hold me down. The streets got me, can't control me now. They driving by the hood, screaming country bound. Saying who's Carolina and who that new. They say you hookers is fools. I straight went through crews. Corrupt everything you hookers ever knew. I'm hungry for the money, ain't no telling what I do. I'm praying to God, don't let Satan take me. These hoes they love me, and these niggas that hate me. Wanna run to the police, but they still can't shake me. Got the baby too strong, the streets can't stand it. God versus death beats, it's the bomb the planet. Say he kinda round and he can't maintain. I haven't put in Germany, Japan, and Ukraine. In the streets of ATL, LA, New York, and Maine. Get credit, cause credit's due, I'm far from Maine.
Yes. Oh, it's your boy K. Yes, I see you, baby. You looking good. I want all the ladies to try something a little different tonight. Just say yes. Say yes. You got me going. I need to know it.